Hello, everybody, and welcome to Non Sequitur News for February 11th, 2025. It's Season 4, Episode 42. I am Mayor Watt, and along with the Sentient AI, we're going to talk about these 10 articles. Monkey cut power, scissors cut paper. Taking a bite out of sharks. A new Oreo method. Did I actually add that? Yeah, I guess so. Clearview to no probable cause. Canned botulism, Spaceballs 2, and more. A mystery figures in Picasso Blue Period. Bad Bat Gene could be good, and Superb Owl Monday. And finally, don't stop singing. Everything's brought to you by ohmTown. Hello, Sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, hometown citizens.
I don't have any preamble. Let's just get into the news. All news, no noise, because only noise comes out of this guy. Anyway, first article is over on the Mobile Channel, how a monkey cut the power to the entire country of Sri Lanka.
Do you think the monkey's bragging to its friends?
Monkey cut power. So, monkey strong. Monkey cut power to Sri Lanka. It's the beginning.
This is really incredible.
It's the beginning of the Planet of the Apes. This is the Enron of the apes, I guess. So, there was a nationwide power outage in Sri Lanka this past Sunday that left millions of citizens without electricity. The blame is being put squarely on the adorable little shoulders of a single monkey. I'm not really kind of gives it maybe a taint that this monkey didn't survive, but I don't know.
Yeah,
how do they know?
Afraid about that.
It allegedly caused a disturbance at a power station south of Colombo, the nation's capital. Sri Lankan Energy Minister. Not the entire ministry, because that would be a lot of weight on that one person's shoulders. Just the minister, Kumara Jayakoti, said that one monkey acting alone, like it's a conspiracy of monkeys.
That's exactly. Sounds like criminal activity.
They conspired, I tell you, they conspired. Anyway, acted alone. Made contact with a grid transformer, causing an imbalance to the power system. They said, I don't know, the author, I guess, says, I don't know the first thing about electrical engineering, let alone power grids from which an entire nation gets its energy. But I'm going to fill in the blank here because we cut it off right there intentionally. We only get a certain number of characters and we intentionally chop it. There's only one provider of news that circumvents that, and I can't figure out why, as a matter of fact. Anyway, but this feels like it's way too sensitive that one monkey touching one thing can take out an entire country.
Right. I mean, it reminds me of like the sea cables, but those are pretty heavy duty and pretty unprotected. Like, I don't see how one monkey with one electrical cable or whatever could have caused this.
I don't know. Louis Prado over at Vice.com put the article together, and it says there was a nationwide power outage in Sri Lanka, and they're blaming it on that monkey up there. The ensuing blackout could not have happened at a worse time for the nation. It was experiencing temperatures in the high 80s Fahrenheit with extremely high humidity. I guess that's really dangerous. I don't know that much about... I'm not a humidologist.
Yeah, I don't think most people are.
Monkeys have been running amok in nearby Thailand of late, as the town of Lopburi in central Thailand recently saw its police station overrun by 200 monkeys. Thailand recently announced a plan to mass neuter its monkeys to reduce some of the chaos the animals have caused. I agree. When I was going to say something really snarky. Anyway, I thought this was kind of a funny article.
Oh, it's spectacular. Maybe they need to rethink something about how the power stations are set up, or...
What's interesting
is this the first time this has ever happened? other
Yeah,
than just monkey chaos in general.
none of your monkey business there, bub. Haha. So what's really interesting is that this is a Getty image. So did somebody actually catch this monkey causing the power
That's
outage? Or?
interesting. Like, that seems a little too on target, right?
Yeah, it's like an NPR sound snippet when they cut to commercial.
Exactly, and it's spot on for
They
some
always have some.
obscure topic.
Yeah, really weird. Okay, let's keep going. The next article is over in Technology Today. Shark bites plummeted in 2024. Experts reveal what's behind the drop. Honestly, this is actually a last minute swap from our other article that was about a copyright overturning. And the terminology used by the judge is fascinating because it's like a person suddenly gained an immense amount of wisdom and reversed a 2023 finding in favor of Thomson Reuters, because what ended up happening was a company trained their AI, legal AI, on Westlaw material that was acquired via a third party that had licensed the material from Westlaw, and this AI company acquired that information by proxy. And the judge reversed course and said sometimes it takes a person to gain the wisdom necessary to see the light, essentially, and flipped it entirely on its head. It's pretty amazing.
That's going to be a big deal. The good news is I know there was a technical issue with the article, but there will probably be additional articles on that, so maybe we'll be able to include one in a future Non Sequitur news.
Yeah, and I'm going to seek to remedy it in some way. I don't know how I'll be able to, but we'll see. Odd times right now. So anyway, this next article, the one that I started talking about, remember, this is Non Sequitur news, so sometimes things diverge from our original conversation. I had to explain that to 60 people today about Mayor Watt's propensity for non sequitur thinking, associated thought.
Did you talk to demonstrate it?
Yes, Anyway, so shark bites reached a surprising low in 2024 with only 47 unprovoked incidents worldwide. As opposed to provoked, who's going up and going, come here, alligator, or a shark, or whatever wild animal?
Well, right. I think unprovoked is kind of a misnomer, but I think it's kind of like, okay, you ran into the shark or something, and then that was considered provoked, or like you were between the shark and its baby shark or something. No, I'm not going into the song. You
deserved what you got because you cut that shark off. Like, all incidents should be deemed unprovoked because a shark is just being a shark. It's nature. They bite whatever's in front of them.
True. Yeah, I'd like to know how they figure that out. Is somebody really taunting a shark and then getting bitten? If so, exactly. I don't have a lot of sympathy.
They're going like this.
If you happen to be in the water like 30 feet away, I'm not sure that should be considered provocation.
They're holding a fish. Come and bite my arm, wuss. So worldwide, there were only 47 unprovoked sharks, down 22 from the previous year and well below the 10-year average of 70. And 4 of last year's attacks resulted in, I think, something worse, but I don't know. We don't know yet. The article gets truncated like all of our articles do. Florida Museum of... Go ahead.
When I first saw the headline, shark bites, it sounded like a fruit snack or something, and then I realized what it was about.
It's a stock on shark bites.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, it plummeted. Oh, sell.
That's what it kind of sounds like. It just doesn't sound like actual being chomped on by a shark.
So apparently that dun 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 dun, that theme was for Jaws, and when it was offered up, the person that listened to it that said yay or nay to the music said, I guess it was the director, said, no, really, what are you going to offer up as the theme song for Jaws?
Oh my goodness, and think how famous it is. People who haven't seen Jaws know what it is.
Yeah, they use it, they go dun dun.
Oh, that's true, yeah. When people are repeating it, that's probably a good sign.
It's become part of the zeitgeist. So shark bites plummeted in 2024. Florida Museum of Natural History is where this is housed, but it's published at scitechdaily.com. So Florida Museum of Natural History is the author of the article. So International Shark Attack File maintained by the Florida Museum of Natural History provides data on what are considered unprovoked bites, defined as incidents in which a person does not initiate contact with a shark. Instances in which a person intentionally or unintentionally initiates contact, including spearfishing and releasing sharks from nets or hooks, are not included in the report. So there you go. That's the definition of an unprovoked, unprovoked. So it's weird. I mean, they're incidental, I would say, right? So not unprovoked, they're incidental bites.
Right. I think that's fair.
So this whole thing is kind of like an infographic, Shark Bites 2024 infographic from the Florida Museum of Natural History.
Should we be worried that there's enough data for an infographic? I mean, I know the data's going in the right direction.
Yeah, you move the decimal point over far enough and you can totally. So unprovoked bites and fatalities. So there's 67 20-year global average of shark bites, 20-year global average of bite fatalities. Yikes. But it's around the globe. How many millions of people are in the water at any given time?
Yeah, that actually seems really low. And that average is 6. I mean, that just doesn't even sound accurate. I mean, I believe this statistic, but it's way lower than I would have expected given all the fear around sharks.
But they say drop in U.S. bites compared with 2023, 32% drop. There are 548 known shark species, but only 13 species have bitten humans 10 or more confirmed times.
So should you go up to a shark and go, which species are you? Uh-oh. Too late, I'm in danger.
Yeah.
No, you should not do that.
Swim with a buddy so that there's a main meal and a snack.
Right, you want to be the smaller person, right?
That's
the
right.
Snack.
That's right. Swim a little bit faster. Stay close to shore. Don't swim at dusk or dawn. Don't swim around schools of fish. Look, I'm a fish. Oh, look, I'm shark bait.
I mean, I don't think most people would want to swim around a school of fish unless they were snorkeling or something, maybe.
I can tell you from experience, scuba diving, you want to swim around fish because it's really freaking cool.
Well, it's probably pretty boring when you're not. You're in the water and there's no fish.
Yeah. Avoid wearing jewelry because those sharks are thieves and they're going to come and take it. And then avoid excess splashing because that actually represents something in trouble, in distress.
Right, but of course, as we know, people probably start splashing a lot as a shark is approaching.
Yeah, they don't say anything.
As in they're in panic.
Yeah, exactly. They don't say how to, if you are about to get bitten, maybe you can have the stability of mind to just punch him in the nose. Right,
I mean, that's a known
deterrent,
but good luck being positioned and whatever to be able to do it. I mean, if you're swimming, it's going to be a little hard to punch.
Yeah. And I've gone diving and I've seen sharks. I don't go around, waving a fish around or anything like that. I don't draw attention to myself. I've also had moray eels interested in me and various other critters out there. So.
Whoa.
Yep. And that one surf shark or surf turtle that had all the other little fish on them.
Crush,
yeah. All right, let's keep going. Next article's over in Technology Today. To keep
Were you
hardware
in Finding Nemo?
I'm Nemo. To keep hardware safe, new Oreo method cuts out the code's clues. And I have no idea what this is all about.
Yeah, None. This was submitted because I thought you'd either be like, what in the heck is this? Or, oh yeah.
So let's get into this one. Okay, so imagine you're a chef with a highly sought after recipe. You write your top secret instructions in a journal to ensure you remember them, but its location within the book is evident from the folds and tears on the edges of the oft referenced page. So Alex Ships, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, put this article together. It's published at techexplore.com, and it says here, much like recipes in a cookbook, the instructions to execute programs are stored in specific locations with a computer's physical memory. The standard security method, referred to as address space layout randomization, or ASLR, scatters this precious code to different places, but hackers can now find their new locations. Instead of hacking the software directly, they use approaches called microarchitectural side attacks that exploit hardware, identifying which memory areas are most frequently used, and from there they can use code to reveal passwords, make critical administrative changes in the system, also known as code reuse attacks. So to enhance ASLR's effectiveness, researchers from MIT Computer Science and Artificial Intelligence Laboratory, or CSAIL, have found a way to make these footprints vanish. Their Oreo method mitigates hardware attacks by removing randomized bits of addresses that lead to a program's instructions before they're translated to a physical location. You thought that this was about cookies, and in a way it is. You want to know what's really interesting about this?
Well, I didn't think about food cookies, but maybe cookies is in like the computer version.
Yeah, but this is in the hardware memory store, and depending on the architecture on the processor itself. Or what's really interesting about this is I came up with a similar type of technique about 15 years ago, but using it to randomize network topology so that nobody could ever map out the topology of a network and thus programmatically navigate a network.
Yeah, it'd be very tough to hack in.
Yeah, if the whole thing remaps periodically, you would have to get new topology every time. Otherwise, it would end up dead ending. Or at least it would trigger intrusion detection and prevention systems. Anyway, they say Oreo has 3 layers, much like its tasty namesake. Between the virtual address space, physical address space, masked address space, this remaps code from randomized virtual addresses to fixed locations before it's executed within the hardware, making it difficult for hackers to trace the program's original locations. By the way, my idea was poo-pooed by, I'll just have to say, somebody else. So,
well, they weren't very forward thinking.
I never pursued it, and I never pursued that line of engineering. So kind of fascinating that 15 years later somebody comes up with an idea in the memory space. This is actually at a different layer of OSI model. But so ASLR was deployed in operating systems like Windows and Linux, but within the last decade its security flaws have rendered it almost broken. Our goal is to revive this mechanism in modern systems to defend microarchitecture attacks. So they've developed a software hardware co-design mechanism that prevents leaking secret offsets that tell hackers where the gadgets are. I suspect that this is pretty much.
Do you think it's the same idea?
Pretty much, yeah. When I was doing it, it was theory. I never experimented on it. I never actually produced it, mainly because it was poo-pooed immediately. Even though I saw the light, it would have taken a long time. I would have had to pursue my PhD. So, says Song observes that these experiments demonstrate how Oreo is a lightweight security upgrade for operating systems. But if it's part of the operating system, then it's going to be exploitable, because you need something that obscures that entire apparatus.
Yeah, it's like if you can't even see the thing to begin with, then that's probably an easier way to defend, or whatever you want to say, or prevent, I guess.
Obfuscation alone is not adequate. Obfuscation, security through obfuscation is basically a failed security model. But the software side of things means that it's part of the operating system when it's running. And so somebody that's good at something like assembly can just jump right through all of that and get to the other side and then extract the information. They don't, whatever the apparatus is, it can be circumvented. So I suspect that somebody will find a solution to this in short order. It says to defend against speculative execution attacks, the team emphasizes that Oreo must be coupled with other security mechanisms such as Spectre mitigations. This potential limitation extends to applying Oreo to larger systems. So they already are anticipating that this is going to get compromised in short order.
Interesting. Well, and I'm sure they're doing one aspect as part of this research, but maybe there'll be future research too.
Yeah, and security is an ongoing, practice. Pardon me. Okay, so let's keep on going. It's an interesting article, and I'll keep everybody informed as to its status as time goes on. We'll hear about it again. If not, it's because it never really made manifest in any way, shape, or form. But we'll see. This one is really interesting because we've talked about Clearview before. I'm glad that somebody submitted it. And
did we predict this? I think.
Oh yeah, we called this out like from the beginning. The moment we saw this, when Clearview matches are the primary mode of assigning
criminality or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Then you've lost it. So. This is over in Non Sequitur News. Ohio judge says Clearview matches aren't probable cause, so kiss your murder case goodbye. That is not the direct quote of the judge, but that's the...
No, but that would be funny if it was.
That's the Tech Dirt synopsis. So I'm going to jump straight on over to Tech Dirt because it's from the AI Speculation Isn't Evidence Department by Tim Cushing. God, I love this.
They always have the best departments.
They really do. And so... They go on to say it's not just the fake social media profiles officers and investigators use, it's also the tech they deploy. No matter how well facial recognition tech may perform, it's still problematic. And even if it matches, look pretty close to the uploaded source material, it's still just another anonymous eyewitness and nothing more than that. So even AI firms are offering facial recognition tech realizes its limitations. A jury may never see the gun that authorities say was used to kill Blake's story last year. That's because Cleveland police used a facial recognition program, one that explicitly says its results are not admissible in court, to obtain a search warrant according to court documents.
Do you think they produced that admission during the search warrant request?
Can you... Okay,
like
so,
where it has the disclaimer on the website or whatever.
Yeah. How did a judge authorize...
They didn't understand the program.
But they knowingly had to have filled out that form.
I mean, don't you think it said something like, we use a facial recognition program. It found our suspect or whatever. Like, I can see where it would be presented and the judge would go, okay.
I'll never be able to go to Cleveland after I make this statement, but I'll make this statement anyway. The people who put the search warrant request before the judge had to have known.
Oh, I thought you meant the judge had to have known. Yeah, no, I agree.
And thus, this is an unethical action. They knew that anything would be thrown out. So why would they risk it? Well, the search turned up what police say is the murder weapon in the suspect's home, but Cuyahoga County judge tossed that evidence after siding with defense attorneys who argued that the search warrant affidavit was misleading and relied on inadmissible evidence. Fruit of the poisonous tree. Straight out of law school.
Do you think they thought that nobody would know what this program was? Like, it's hard to attack something if you don't know what it is or don't understand it. It's just astounding because I agree. Like, I don't think the judge would have necessarily known, but I do think whoever put forward the affidavit had to know what they were doing.
Yep. So the tech at the middle of this Clearview, a company with its own history of problematic behavior, which we've talked about a couple of times, utilizing billions of images scraped from the open web along with any attached personal information. Clearview's tech may have improved over the years, but its casual attitude towards other people's personally identifiable information remains intact. Clearview isn't necessarily better than its competitors. Its only advantage is that its image library, which is billions of times larger than its competitors, as well as dozens of times cheaper to amass due to its reliance on web scraping. This reminds me of night action.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they had a program in that.
So, Night
based
Agent.
in season 2. Yeah.
Yeah. What was it called?
But that term is used in the show. I don't remember what the program was called. Hold on.
It was like, oh my gosh, what was it called? Like Find All or something like that. I can't remember. So they basically say here, they don't basically, I'm quoting the article, facial recognition search results are to be treated as investigative leads and should not be solely relied upon for making an arrest. Investigators are required to conduct thorough investigations, independently verify identifications, and adhere to applicable laws and agency policies regarding facial recognition search results.
The adverse.
Yeah. And you basically have to watch Night Agent so that you can you can understand the rest of it. Adverse doesn't really need a spoiler. I'm not going to get into it, but
no, I didn't know how far you were going to go.
Yeah, normally we would put a spoiler alert banner up at the very top of this. I feel really small. I don't know. Maybe it's just my ego contracting further and further. So that clause was cited by the court in its granting of the evidence suppression motion, but there's more to it than a bad warrant. On February 20th, officers watched a surveillance camera that recorded a man later identified as Keon Tolbert leave his apartment on I don't feel right talking about that part, or at least including it all in this thing, right? It's
right,
in the article.
We could just say a person or something.
Leave their apartment, which is roughly a block from where the murder happened. The person walked to a nearby convenience store, and a different surveillance camera captured a shot of his face. How do they get these cameras? How are they getting access to it?
Well, isn't this something we said in one of the previous articles about Clearview? Like, it's supposedly, if this is the one I'm thinking of, it's supposedly public information, except this wouldn't be.
It's a surveillance camera, so where did they get the access to the surveillance camera? Unless it's been compromised, there shouldn't be anything.
Did they reach in? Did they go to the place and ask for it, and then it was provided?
That's some pretty heavy hitting.
Oh, but that's not Clearview. Sorry, I'm not thinking. I'm just thinking more, walking in as a police officer or something.
Yeah, but it's not the police officers. It's Clearview,
it's the
right?
program. Yeah, I don't know how they would have obtained it.
I don't get this. So, according to court records, police monitoring the neighborhood through real-time street cameras thought the person looked like the shooter, so they went to the convenience store and got a copy of the surveillance video. So at the time of this walking through, they were looking at what they say real-time street cameras.
But at the register. Like a picture of a person's face at the cash register from a street camera in real time.
It just happened to, yeah. So, police believe that the shooter looked like the person because they had the same build, hairstyle, clothing, walking characteristics. Apparently, they're kinetics experts now. Detective Michael Legg testified during the hearing on the search warrant, and my God, just talking about this is troublesome. So maybe not. They don't know, the author doesn't know if the cops are better at identifying distinct walking than they are identifying distinct bite marks or mass-produced genes. Even if they are, the main point of the ruling remains. Nothing here remotely resembles probable cause, and the distinct lack of actual evidence definitely doesn't help the prosecution's case. This from the registrar's report on the decision, which quotes the motion filed by the murder suspect's attorney. The defendant's DNA was not found on the scene or on the victim, which is hard to fathom when it was supposed to have been a robbery. There are no witnesses that say the defendant was the person who did it or seen the defendant. There was not any gunshot residue on the defendant or at any times taken as evidence. There were shoes taken that did not belong to the defendant and cannot fit the defendant for the purpose of evidence for an undetermined reason. The phone that the defendant had was not pinged in the area of the crime, and even the victim's family have stated that they've never seen the defendant, proving that they were known to each other. The shoes that were taken?
Yeah, I mean, that's a whole nother level. But I mean, there's multiple negatives here. And I don't think there's a single positive other than the supposed facial recognition.
It's a stretch.
And even, I'm sorry, even if that was a person in a convenience store, that does not equate to that is a person who committed a crime. It might be, it might not be, but you know, that's not even a thing where it's at the murder scene.
So now again, I will say, how the hell is Clearview involved in this? Because they're saying that the police were watching real-time cameras, saw a suspect, went to the liquor store and grabbed surveillance footage and reviewed it, and that still doesn't tie the two together.
No, but the article also mentions that there have been some negative results for Clearview and some other cases. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. So
did Clearview somehow build a dossier on this person and provide it to the police in which they started surveilling this person?
It's not really clear what it's doing, right? I mean, they keep claiming it's like this open source information, which I don't know where that is, and certainly not in real time, and it doesn't cover everywhere.
If only there was an agency to... Moving on, the next article is over in the Mobile Channel. Canned tuna sold at Walmart, Costco, and Trader Joe's is being recalled for what I'm calling canned botulism. It's over a botulism fears. Several brands of canned tuna sold at Trader Joe's, Costco, and Walmart. These are big box stores. When they sell some, they sell a ton of them. So,
yeah, absolutely. Like recalls at these types of stores really catch my attention because of that. And they have multiple locations.
Yep. Some static, you say? Okay. Was that a while ago?
Oh, yeah. That was at the beginning of the show.
Oh, I moved the mic, so that might have caused it. So several brands of canned tuna are concerned. The concern is that there is Clostridium botulinum, a bacterium that can produce a fatal neurotoxin. And no, eating canned tuna isn't going to smooth out the wrinkles on your face if it has botulism.
Oh, is that the rule? I mean, we don't want anybody to eat anything that has... Oh, I see. Never mind.
Botox.
I wasn't making the connection. I'm like, that's an odd statement to make.
The elevator just kept going up, up, up.
I think it got stalled.
Yeah, it's a slow-moving elevator. It's okay, though. So Bruce Gill over at Quartz or QZ.com put the article together. The recall affects 13 canned tuna products sold in 26 states and Washington. So I'm going to have to notify some people because I really doubt that they actually know about this. So Tri-Union, a California-based subsidiary of the global seafood provider Thai Union, has issued a voluntary recall of some of its canned tuna products, according to an alert from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration on Monday. Get it while it's hot. The FDA warned consumers not to use the recalled products, even if it doesn't look or smell spoiled. That consumers that feel unwell should seek immediate medical attention. So far, no illnesses. But there's 13 that are involved. Genova et al., Van Camp's et al., Trader Joe's et al., and HEB solid white tuna. You might as well, if you've got tuna, if you hear me saying, hey, check your tuna, then you should be testing this. Like, does it fall in this?
Right, and I suspect, I don't know if the article went into this, but I bet these were canned at the same location, even though they're different brands.
Yeah, the article does not. Well, yeah, it comes out of Tri-Union and is sold to various...
Oh, okay, sorry, I missed that piece.
Yeah, so it's definitely coming from one supplier. But again, food safety and security, baby. Wonder, there should be an agency that should do regular Nah. Next article is over in the continuity report. Ariana Grande has been offered roles in Spaceballs 2. Oh my god, I want to see Spaceballs 2. That's going to be so much fun. Yay!
Because Ariana Grande's in it, or just in
Nah.
general?
Just the only reason why I chose this is because I wanted to talk about Spaceballs. So, wedding comedy and more. So, Ariana Grande is now a superstar in the world of music. Really? Yeah, okay. Now she's commanding more and more Hollywood eyes as an actor. Should probably run for president. With several high-profile roles having reportedly been offered to her. So what movies has Grande been offered roles in? Well, the Hollywood Reporter spoke about the moment of heat that Grande has on her as an actress and mentioned that she'd been offered a number of high-profile gigs. So there they are. The article is by Anthony Nash over at comingsoon.net. And let's just, let's see. Do they say?
No, they don't really give any details.
That's it. The whole thing is in the title. Do they mention
pretty
Spaceball?
much.
Yeah. Oh, they say the sequel to the cult classic Spaceballs. They don't actually call it Spaceballs 2. A movie described as a female detective romp. And that's set in a reality TV show akin to Housewives. All right.
So this is kind of all rumor, but she's also being kind of cagey about it, so she's probably in at least one of these. Because a lot of times in the early days, they can't really announce their projects or whatever.
I said moving on, and then I immediately said, well, moving back, because the sentient AI kept on talking.
Okay, sorry. Moving on.
No, it's fine. I failed to put all of the articles into the chat, so now they're part of the VOD over there. They're already over on the YouTube live stream. They should be. Dad, nabbit, I might have messed that up. Anyway, let's move on. Next article's over in Prime Glass. 2 mystery figures discovered beneath a Picasso Blue Period painting. Conservators at London's, is that Courtauld University or Institute? Courtauld? Used X-ray and infrared images to reveal the previously unseen works. I love this stuff. This is so cool. So it's a portrait of Mateo Fernandez de Soto from 1901. It's a Pablo Picasso. I like the style. The article is over at theartnewspaper.com by Gareth Harris.
So that's the original, right? That's the Picasso, the way we see it? Okay.
Yeah, that's the top painting, and that's covering up apparently 2 others modifications. So you can barely see the outline of the other person here. This one looks like a hot mess. I can't quite make it out. But specialist imaging technology such as that used by conservators at the Courtauld may allow us to see the hand of an artist to understand their creative process. In revealing this previously hidden figure, we can shed light on a pivotal moment in Picasso's career. The thing about this, though, is canvases and boards were painted over regularly because they were expensive. And so if somebody wanted to enhance their skills, they either went out and spent a mint to get new canvas or new boards that were specially made so that they would last long enough to paint repeatedly on, or they just painted over, so you can actually see the painting of the other person underneath the Blue Period painting. On the right is an x-ray of the same portrait, but I don't know, I can't really make out what that other one is. So according to the Smithsonian
the right
researchers,
is the same image, but it's like less of the top image.
Yeah, and this looks like an abstract painting underneath this. So it's like multiple layers. And so one layer shows the outline of a person right here, and then over here it looks like an abstract layer, but I don't know if that's actually what's going on. According to Smithsonian Magazine, researchers have discovered hidden underpaintings in several works dating from the Picasso Blue period, such as The Soup and Crouching Beggar Woman. An X-ray radiograph of the latter taken at the Art Gallery in Ontario showed, for instance, the landscape of the Horta Labyrinth Park in Barcelona. Does it say what it is on the right side? It doesn't, does it?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I wish it did, but no, this doesn't seem to. Let me back up a little bit. Revealing the outline of an unidentified woman with a distinctive chignon hairstyle. Is that this? Which was fashionable in Paris, right?
Yes, like a low, kind of like a low bun, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It says the unknown image was discovered when the Courtauld took X-ray and infrared images. But that's different than this. This looks like an abstract.
I'm not sure. Well, I don't think they have a name because it's an unknown painting.
Oh, wait. There's a picture there. No.
Yeah,
so
this
left...
is just a different version on the right.
No. Okay, so this is on the left is the infrared, and on the right is an X-ray. On the left, you can see a person right here with the hat. There's the hair. There's the ear. There's the face, chin. Okay, eye right there. You see that? Mm-hmm. On this side, right there is the woman. Nose, eye, mouth. Looks like they're wearing a hat, and they're kind of hunched over, looking down.
Yeah, I thought it was the same as what you see on the right.
I think that's different though. The size of the ear is bigger here than it is over here.
Oh, okay. So then maybe there's at least three paintings in that one.
So there's the top, then an underpainting, and this one is at a different level. It looks like to me, because they say 2 mystery figures discovered beneath the Picasso Blue period painting.
Yeah, I thought it was all the same thing.
So here, let me zoom in a little bit. So you can see the face right there. And while it might be similar, I think it's a repainting of the cover art. So pretty neat. But yeah, you just paint over. Variable light is pretty amazing. Variable frequency, so you can actually penetrate the layers. You just have to land properly. So pretty cool. I can't wait for technology that allows for that variable density at that resolution, so that you could just scan over the whole thing.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
And just strip away each layer, and you'll find the material. But I suspect that that's pretty difficult. But this is pretty cool. It's a close proximity of it. Anyway, pretty damn awesome. All right, let's keep going. The next article is over in Technology Today. Scientists discover a bat gene, not a baseball bat gene, a bat gene, that could revolutionize COVID-19 treatment. Get it while it's hot. A study on bat genomes involving Texas Tech University discovered genetic adaptations that help bats resist viral infections, including COVID-19, which is assumed to be the source of COVID-19. How it got into the system, though, remains to be seen. Researchers found that a bat gene, ISG15, can reduce SARS-CoV-2, CoV2. That is the COVID-19.
Right, that's the long name of it.
Yeah. Production by up to 90%, while the human version showed no effect. 5 years after the COVID-19 outbreak, scientists worldwide continue to study its long-term effects. Texas Tech University put the article together. It's over at scitechdaily.com. And so the Ray Laboratory, led by Professor and Associate Chair David Ray of the Department of Biological Sciences, contributed to a study on bat genomes published in Nature. Their research identified specific genetic components in a bat species that exhibit greater immune system adaptations compared to other animals. The study found that a particular gene in some bats can reduce the COVID-19 or COVID virus production by up to 90%, a discovery that could pave the way for new medical approaches by combating viral diseases. I feel weird about that.
I don't know. Yeah, this seems like this could go awry quickly.
Yeah, somebody's going to more about. This is how you end up with zombies. Bats have an amazing ability to resist some of the worst effects of viral infection that make us so vulnerable to certain diseases. While we get very sick, a bat barely blinks an eye when exposed to the same pathogens. I don't want to be crossbred with a bat. I don't want to be Batman. I want the wealth.
You don't want to hang upside down?
That's what I do on Friday nights anyway. Don't yuck my yum. If every individual of a species was genetically identical, they would all have the same risk associated with infection. If one dies, they all die. They say TE, or transposable elements, are a great way for organisms to generate genetic diversity in a species, allowing some individuals to survive better in the face of environmental pressures like viral diseases, which, face it, you won't be able to afford this genetic modification should it actually come to pass. If it saves you from viral infection across the board, it'll be too expensive. I mean, it's kind of like the current weight loss drugs costing $1,500.
Right.
Even though, okay, well, anyway, doesn't matter. So Michael Hiller, a professor of comparative genomics at the Goethe University and a member of the Sackenberg Institute, is one of the main investigators in this study. He and Ray are both members of an executive board of the Bat1K Consortium, and their relationship provided the perfect opportunity for Ray's lab to collaborate with the international scientific community. Well, good for you. Oh, look, the lab has worked in the past with such agencies as the organizations such as the National Science Foundation, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and the state of Texas, and the Texas Department of Wildlife and Fisheries.
I think bats are really cool animals, and I think it does make sense to research them in relation to COVID-19, but it sounds kind of alarming given the history.
Nothing bad will happen. Moving on, the next article is over in the Mobile Channel. A record number of people called out of work on Superb Owl Monday. It's because those superb owls are just so superb. If we ever needed more proof that Monday, after the superb owl, should be a national holiday, just look at the number of people who are calling out sick today. Well, they're all fired if some people have their way. Courtesy of some statistics provided by UKG and HR Pro platform, it's expected that a record number of U.S. employees are calling out because of the case of the Mondays on February 10th. So how much? How about 22.6 million people are expected to take a sick day?
Whoa, that's quite a bit.
By the way, this show is the last 24 hours, and that's why we've got news from Monday. Oh, and that reminds me, I have to run an errand immediately after this. So this is a huge difference from the prior year, which only saw 16.2 or 16.1 million people take the day off. So the article is by Kyle Filippi over at Vice.com, who put the article together. And go ahead.
I wonder if this is the highest sick day in the whole year. I bet it is.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah. I mean, 22.6% is nearly 10% of the entire population, for crying out loud. It's
22.6 million. Yeah. That's a huge population percentage.
22.6 million people are about 7% of the entire population.
Right, and remember, some of the entire population aren't even in the workforce, right?
Only
too old. Yeah.
Only like 150 million are actually, so, closer to 10% actually took the day off.
Wow.
Yeah, you know what? We've got some time.
So did you do any informal statistic sampling? And did that apply?
No, but I should. I'll do that. It'll have to wait, and people will not have any memory of it. So maybe I can ask at the next event. But no, like everybody that I know worked on Monday regardless. So that's okay though. But I need to ask another question to the same group that I posed another question to. I don't like breaking it up. I like having it all together. So the next time I meet, anyway, so check this out. I just pulled the number. In October 2024, about 161.5 million people were employed in the United States. So this is more than 10% of the working population.
It doesn't even seem possible. Now, I know that doesn't mean that all those people are actually sick, but that still seems like an outrageous percentage. Like 1% would seem to be a high number.
Yeah, you would think. So it says, although a record number of employees plan to miss work on Monday, we continue to see full progress with managers and employees having more open conversations about taking the day off, swapping shifts, making arrangements to come in late, and so on and so forth. Yeah, you know what? It's really amazing when an employee and an employer respect each other enough to have some work-life balance, and it isn't going to be the end of the freaking world. Let's do our last article for Non Sequitur News for February 11th, 2025. Don't stop singing. Research shows that we need it. I'll stop though. So, singing releases happy hormones, reduces stress hormones, and strengthens muscles and bones. You improve your posture when standing and singing, whether in a choir or at school or at home in the shower. When you hear someone sing, it makes you feel happy too, although maybe not my singing. This is supported by research conducted by Professor Anne Holland. Ballsness. Come on, make it easier on me. Most recently in a chapter in the Oxford Handbook of Community Singing.
I wonder how this research was done. Did she stand around and listen to people sing and go,
happy?
How do you feel? How do I feel?
Happy. Anne Falsch-Scarin from University of Agder put the article together. It's posted over at phys.org. And so, yeah, the voice is the only instrument that's part of your body. We're all born... I don't know, man. I can make some music with other... Never mind. We're all born with a voice that can easily harmonize with others. Wow, that is... Never mind. Different times. Young children sing spontaneously. It's an innate part of being human. Singing simply brings happiness, but it needs nurturing. Otherwise, it fades away, she says. So, keep on singing, folks. Singing can be used in learning. Students might sing multiplication tables or songs about the community. When you learn songs with varied phrases and sentence structures, it helps you understand sentence structure. It's a clever way to learn a language because it's easier to learn a song than it is to memorize a text or speak, which is why I'm learning French through musicians
songs.
I'm learning French through songs, like by listening to Stromae and Palm and others. So they studied singing in schools and believes it helps improve concentration. When a lesson starts with singing, students have a shared focus. Yeah. To a point. Not everybody is interested in singing the beginning of their lessons.
No, but maybe in younger grades they might be.
Yeah, if you go through school without singing and then start teacher training, chances are you won't learn as much about singing there either. When you eventually start teaching, you naturally won't sing. It becomes a vicious circle. In our surveys, few teachers expressed negativity towards singing, but many don't feel confident enough to sing themselves. Often, when teachers need music, they resort to karaoke versions on YouTube. All right. So apparently they found that this is a positive experience, but it's weird. They wrote a book, the Oxford Handbook of Community Singing, and that, I guess, is the impetus for this article. It's kind of a feel-good.
Well, we need some feel-good.
Yeah. But I agree. In fact, I prefer to have music playing at any moment where there's complete silence, where there isn't any talking or anything like that. I like to play music. In fact, it's playing in the background right now, and if you concentrate, you can hear it. We hear it a lot cleaner, but the broadcast is quieter. But anyway, I'm going to hit a high note, and that's going to make your eyes bleed. And when you blink, look, we're back at the front page of ohmtown.com. I'm Mayor Watt. I'm taking the AI, and we're getting out of here on that note. You want to say bye?
Bye, hometown citizens. Thanks for joining us for Non Sequitur News. Be back tomorrow for another episode. And don't forget to sing.
Unless Asteroid 2025 lands.